Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another sketchbook tour video. We have my sketchbook from 2022. This sketchbook took me a long time. So the previous sketchbook tour that I did was actually a very short time. It was over about a month that sketchbook took me to do. Now, this one I really spent some time on, as you can probably tell. So where we'll start, so this cover is one of the favorites I've done so far. This is my spirit animal, the barn owl. Sorry, not spirit animal. This is my totem animal, the barn owl. As you can see, he's got that real symmetrical feel, as you may have seen in some of the other sketchbooks. I really am big on doing these symmetrical style drawings, illustrations and paintings. I've got my trusty little pencil case here. There's a paint palette there, some paint brushes, pencils, ink pen, calligraphy pen, brush pen, and then we've got the little bottle of ink here with the octopus tentacles just coming out in ink. That's why that's left black and white, but I really love the gold. And it's got a bit of scratches and dents in it, which is great. It's got a bit of paint on it. It just gives it so much character. So I think that's a strong start. Let's open the book up and move on to that. All right, so as you can see on this book, I really decided it was time to start covering every single page first of all, and doing these double page spreads. It really opened up my creativity on this one. This is one of my favorite sketchbooks, and this one could be just a book on its own. You can see this drawing, this koi fish drawing, as an ASMR video on my channel. I did this back then. This was just the start of the book. I wanted to start the book off nice and strong, and on the same thing with the gold. That's gold Posca markers and white Posca markers, I believe. And then I did this blue tiger just lying down. I was commissioned to do a job for a school near the house we were living in at the time, and I almost used this. That job just fell through at the time. Alien Queen. So this is all done in watercolors. This is an Alien Queen drawing, and this here is my little girl. Again, some more drawings of my little girl at the beach with a camera. I believe that may have been a Lilo and Stitch image that I used to reference that. All right, this is the skull and snake. This I believe I was going to make into a sticker. I haven't done that yet. Will. Now, really interested in skulls and sea snakes, still now, and snakes in general. Snakes have been a big fear of mine for years, so I'm trying to do what Bruce Wayne did and use them to my advantage. The next one here, I love doing luchador characters, and this is one of the superhero slash supervillains. So he's got the little moustache here. This is the Riddler as a luchador. It's all coloured in watercolours. So a lot of these took me quite a bit of time to do, because I would come back and watercolour them and fill them in and ink them and stuff like that. I tend to draw in the morning when I get up as part of my morning routine, and then I'll come back and sort of finish them off. On the next page, we've got the back of the Riddler. I don't know if it's quite working. I'm not quite sure what is happening here. It doesn't quite look like the back to me, but you can sort of see his shoulder here and everything. Another barber. This is like a robotic skull barber. This goes with the series in the previous sketchbook as well. This one here is a really interesting, I believe it was Achilles. It was a story of just exploding, getting all the pressure off you. At the time, it was also me working on a trauma. I had a lot of bullying growing up, and one of the things I feel when I get really stressed, overwhelmed, is this feeling of sort of having a lot of pressure on me, or a pile-on, a bunch of people piled on top of me. And it's something that happened to me a lot as a kid in school, was you just get piled on and you couldn't get out, and this was me exploding out of that pile-on. And we got a Chinese lion design that hasn't been finished yet. That was done in coloured pencils. A lion mask. Again, more masks. Love my masks. All right, here's the luchador Batman, but the animated Batman for all of my 90s fans. It's a lot of fun to do. And then you may remember in the previous sketchbook tour, we had a Darby Allin study in a cartoon kind of version. For my pro wrestling fans, this is the Stinger. Some expression studies that are a little bit more further in the book. I really like doing Sting. It's quite a badass. Then we got the Penguin. This one hasn't quite been finished either. We've got the Penguin as a luchador. At this time I wanted to do Batman's Rogues Gallery, and the Penguin was next up. And then we got some more Sting expressions, number 2. All right, this is a lot of fun. So this is, I went in and I found a bunch of photos of Robin. And this is domino mask expression studies. So this is not dissimilar to doing like Spider-Man studies. What's really great is a lot of the expressions are in the eyes. So you can get these domino masks down. That's what I was doing here, was doing some referencing of the domino mask, really to understand how the eyes express. If you get the domino mask down with just that little mouth, I bet you could tell me every single expression in here in the comments what was going on because of the eyes. This here is a sticker design. This is a Spaceman logo, which is my logo. as you've probably seen, and there's an octopus around it. So I think I'm gonna definitely pull that and make another sticker. I'm about ready for another sticker run. All right, Luchador Superman. That one's a lot of fun. It was done in watercolors. That one took me a few weeks actually. And then here, this became a painting. You may have seen this in one of my videos. This is the intro to, what video was it? This was the intro to my how to make artist prints video, and you may have seen that painting's finished now, and it was the opposite of falling. This was flying. So as you can see, there's a lot of that. Like, this is a painting I did in 2021. Back in the beginning of 2021, I created the Spaceman. He was a character based on myself and my experience with ADHD. Back then I felt like I was falling, and this is called Falling. And this right here, this is a painting that I'm working on right now. It's called Flying. You see, if I turn this upside down, it's pretty interesting, right? Falling and flying. I'm quite proud of these. Breaking free stuff going on. The opposite is he's actually falling in an empty space, an empty void. And we've got the octopus tentacles coming up after him. This is the goddess of love, the Egyptian goddess of love. I cannot say her name on YouTube. Just Google it if you're interested. This ended up becoming a painting that I'm still finishing right now. I have ADHD, so I have a lot of projects going constantly, but I often come around to finishing them, especially personal projects. This next page is 100 expression studies. Now, this was supposed to be a video, and what's really sad about this is I lost a lot of the footage, or it was corrupted on a hard drive. So I never ended up making this video, but I still did it. So these are my monkeys. So this is the first 5. Then we got Spider-Man studies. This is another 15, so that's 20. In between now, I must have done a Luchador Batman, or I came back to the empty page. That's another Luchador Batman, that one with the moustache. Then we got day 1, day 2, expressions and colors. So I did expressions and then did some like Posca marker on there. I really like the flicks on here. That's cool. Must have been a dry brush. Okay, then day 3, we've got another 30. So what's that? 40. The count's up here. My bad. That's 30. That's 30 there. So we've got Catwoman. And these were actually Audrey Hepburn, but I thought she'd be an interesting Catwoman. And another Batman drawing. This one's got a lot of Batmans in it. And then we've got Batman expressions here. We hit the 40 mark there. That's day number 4. And this was sort of a very cartoony Batman. That's 50, so halfway there. They're all Daffy Duck, all done in pencil and ink. This would be 60 with these 2 pages. So there's a turtle expression. We're now in February. There's this turtle character, and we got Venom. It makes it interesting to do these studies. I do these challenges to move forward my progress as an artist and as an illustrator. You got to make it fun for yourself. So you got to choose characters that you actually like, and you know, I've chosen Batman and Spider-Man and Daffy Duck and Venom. This here is up to 70 now. So this is a week in. So it took me about 10 days, I think, to do this. This is Nina. So Nina was one of my characters. I decided to do a female study and make it into my character Nina. All right, this will be day 8. This was, I believe, a study of Miles Morales' father from Spider-Verse. And then we've got the Prowler here. So that's 80, getting there. And then Crash Bandicoot. Hey, legendary. That will be day the 90 mark. Got 10 more to do from here on out. This will be 100 here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I did 11. There you go. Must have done 1 extra. Good luck. So Kylo Ren's study, and then a Leonardo DiCaprio when he was a kid. So I have a Pinterest board that I used for all of that. And on this is the Joker Luchador. I couldn't quite figure it out. I think I didn't quite push through. I did do just the head. I don't know what happened with that one. Here is I started a series of horoscope skull designs. You can buy prints of these online, and I'll have some other products of these coming soon. These are the skulls of each horoscope. So this one is Aries, and what I did with each of these is, see this kind of moon waves and stuff, there's some extra elements. Each horoscope has a ruling planet. They have a birth flower. That's the flower there. This is, the symbol is somewhere in there. On top of the head here is a flame. They have a ruling element as well, and a ruling symbol. The symbol of I believe Aries is a symbol of the ram. I was trying to do sort of skull-based stuff, and it's got this cool little triangle in there. This is one of my favorites because it's the first one I did, and it's really, really powerful. Going through here, this little feather here ended up going on my owl jacket. You may have seen that video already. This ended up on the front pocket of the owl jacket, and it's also on the t-shirts you can buy on my website. This one's the Taurus, the bulls. We got the flowers here, the planet here, Taurus symbol, and the Taurus is an earth sign, so I did a little rock and got the mountains in the top. We've got the little star system, added that later. The star system you can see in the sky for each horoscope. This is a Catwoman Luchador, all done in watercolor. It's really simple, that one actually. I quite like that. It's got a bit more of a modern look to it. This is the Gemini symbol here, crown on the head. So there's the good guy and the bad guy, you know, the two sides of the Gemini. The flowers here and then the ruling planet, and they're a fire sign. And then this is the Cancer. So this one, as you can see, I've gridded out to really get it. I'm a Cancer, so I wanted to get this one right. Got the ruling flower, ruling planet, which is technically the moon. And then we've got the moon symbol up here. Cancer symbol, and Cancer's a water sign, so you got the crab. It's interesting because the crab has an exoskeleton, so I just drew a crab essentially. And there's no skeleton underneath the crab, which is funny. Then we've got a Barbara Gordon Batgirl luchador there as well. Again, a bit of a modern sort of look. And I went with the purple suit. Then we've got the Leo skull. We see the lion's skull. The ruling planet is the sun. That's why we've got all these bits and pieces. I really like how the sun's behind. This one's really Leo symbol in the middle. We have flowers here. And then the Leo is a fire sign as well. See, I told you in the last video that we would be doing, that I always do octopi. This is all done in watercolors, pen and ink as well. And we've got the Virgo now. So the Virgo symbol, I believe, was, I can't remember actually what it was. Tell me in the comments what it was. So it's an earth sign. We've got all the earth and the mountains and stuff there, the flowers and the planet. But the Virgo, I can't really remember. I believe it was a woman with virtue, maybe, something like that, with a crown of, yeah, no, I can't really remember. Got a little star sign there, symbol in the top. We've got Red Hood luchador. It's not one of my favorites, but again, done in watercolor. I did sort of a real old school looking luchador with that one. Here's the Libra. So the Libra is the sign of justice and balance. We've got the plant here, ruling star, and they're also a fire element, fire ruled horoscope. And we've got the skull there as well, as balancing everything, the human and the nature. This here was, I never finished this. This was actually one of the later drawings. I came back because the page was empty. This was me wrestling with myself. But I think it just didn't quite work out in my head, or I just forgot to ink it up. Then we have the Scorpio. So again, Scorpio's got an exoskeleton, same thing as the crab on the Cancer, the exoskeleton there. And then we had the ruling planets. I believe that was Earth, possibly. They're a water sign. I got the symbol there, and then the flowers here. It's kind of eating the flower. As you can see, a lot of double page spreads on this, and it was about me coming back and reusing pages. So I kind of finished and then came back. This here will become something, probably a t-shirt or something like that. It's just like a whaling image. So it's one of those symmetrical ones. We've got the anchor in the middle here. We've got the diving helmet. And then this is like boat ropes, and I really love the way the ropes are moving around here. I'm definitely going to turn that into something sooner rather than later. I think that might be one of our t-shirts coming up. All right, let's keep going with these. This is Sagittarius. As you can see, we've got the stars symbol there. Sagittarius is the centaur. So we've got a bow made of skeleton on the back there. Centaur with a fire sign. There's the symbol there, the flower, and the ruling planet as well. We're only in February on this. This is interesting. More tattoo designs. Not sure what this was. It looks like it might be a Hydra type situation. Still working on that Let It Be tattoo. Capricorn. Capricorn's ruling sign is the goat. It's got the goat skeleton. Again, earth sign. Got a bit of earth and waves and mountains going on there. There's a symbol, there's a star sign, and as you can see, I believe that's Saturn. The symbol of the Aquarius is the vase of water flowing over the head of an individual. So I did the human, I believe it's normally a woman with water, washing water off her head. So we've got the skeleton, we've got the planet here. Again, maybe Saturn, maybe Uranus actually. Fire sign, and I did a really interesting thing, and then we've got the symbol there and star sign there, flower on the left-hand side. Okay, Wonder Woman luchador. Very cool. Again in watercolors. I think I came back and did that later. And finally, this is actually the Pisces. I thought this was the Gemini, but it's actually the Pisces. The Pisces is like two koi fish in a yin and yang situation. Water sign, ruling planet, star, and then you can see the star. Constellation is the word I'm looking for. The constellation is moving down the spine of the koi fish. This is one of my favorites. I really love this. The way that the heads turned out and everything, and that's quite symmetrical and beautiful, that one. So you can get those on my website now as artist prints, and there'll be plenty of other stuff coming up. Let's just turn this around for a second. So this here, you may have seen my video I did with XP pen on the tablet. I turned this into a t-shirt, and what's really cool about these sketchbooks, I say this often, but this is one thing I love about my sketchbooks, is whenever I need a design for a video or something like that, I often come back to my sketchbooks because I have so many random different drawings like that and designs that I don't need to redo anything new. It's just like a little inventory, a little archive I can come back to all the time if I need a sticker or a t-shirt design or whatever it may be. Okay, we've got some toothless studies there. Really proud of those two. Really like the cross hatching on those little baby toothless. Oh, this is one of my favorites, Luchador Mysterio. This one took me a while because, as you can see, there's a lot of values going on here, a lot of grading, and you got to let the watercolors dry, but really, really fun, that one, the Luchador Mysterio is kind of floating in space. I think maybe I meant to put some smoke around it or whatever, but that could make a cool sticker one day. My little son, my little boy. This is his little space character. You may have seen, this is just an extension. As you can see, it's starting to really change from the last sketchbook tour as well. And yeah, this one, okay. I have just completed a jacket with this on it, and I've got a mural coming up that I'm finishing as well. This was me working on Hercules. I was really fascinated on Heracles, actually, the mythology of Hercules, and this was one of the biggest symmetrical designs I've done, and I have used it on you can buy t-shirts of this now. We'll have prints up very soon, stickers out there as well. This has become a sticker, all sorts of things. What I love about this one is I'm going to sit on this one for a little bit. So Heracles here, we've got a few of his labours here as well. We've got the hydras, obviously, around the outside, the heads of the hydras. We've got the two snakes that tried to kill him as a baby, and we've got the Nemean lion. Now, I didn't want to put too much into this drawing because I knew it would start to sort of dissipate and disappear. It's already pretty full on as is, so I might come back and do some of his other labours later. I might not, we'll see how we go. So I've got written up here Cerberus at the top, then we've got the, what's that say? Snake's heads poking at Hercules both sides. We've got the Hydra, we've got the hind of the lion, and then we've got the boar as well. As you can see, the boar and Cerberus never made it in. I think Cerberus would have taken up too much room in the top there as well. So it's a bit of a smaller canvas. This is cool. So I think I actually ended up making a TikTok video out of this. I don't remember if I didn't. There was a story about when I was a kid, I always wanted to be, you know, an artist and blah, blah, and I had so much creativity, and then I ended up growing up to be my own hero. So, all right, this right here is one of my first murals that I did for Piccolo Spot. You've probably seen the video already. If not, you can see it here. From Piccolo Spot Cafe, this is a cafe mural. This is where it started. So it ended up being, I think I've actually got the further design down later, but I started off doing this and I learned a real lesson with this one. Do check with the artist before you do a lot of detail like this. It did end up looking something like this, but all the animals we removed. I do really love this version. All this stuff at the bottom here was the same except for the banner. It ended up the top here, and then we had a little coffee character at the top there, and I believe these here were just some extra bits and pieces. The moon waves, got the coffee beans, you know, we've got all sorts of stuff going on. Really proud of that. You can see the full process video on my YouTube right now. This here, again, wrestling with my problems, wrestling with myself. This is me German suplexing myself, done in coloured pencil. And this was some real process stuff. So this is me doing the work, essentially. So I was working through some of my own personal journey stuff at this time, and illustration is a really great way to do that. At least I found it. If you want to do it that way, please do, because it's a beautiful way to work through your stuff. But a lot of it's all my worries. So this is my anxiety here. As you can see, there's all sorts of heads popping around and very anxious. This here is my apatheia or apathy. So if you don't balance your apathy, which is the opposite to empathy, you can become quite egotistical. So this was a slightly more egotistical side of me. It's also kind of the counsel in your head that I was working on as well. So here is my failure. I feel like, you know, as we all do, if we don't change our expectations, if we don't remove our perfectionism, we will always feel failure, but failure is a strength that we all have to learn and grow. This here is just a statue study. I believe that was Marcus Aurelius. Could very well have been just a random statue, but just studying, really working on my cross-hatching, and this was really helping me find a really stronger style. This here is my second mural. This is for Ignite Music. Again, you can see the process video on this one, and this one we had, because they were a music studio, they were like a music tutoring studio. They wanted instruments, they wanted their logo in the middle, they wanted it to pop. This all ended up being big, bright, splashed colours, and we ended up getting rid of this maraca. We kept a lot of this stuff going on here. The violin was in there, I believe. So we got Prince here, Aretha Franklin is my original concept. We had the Beatles above here because there was a window there, and we had Springsteen and Elvis. What ended up happening was Elvis ended up over here, the Beatles ended up walking across here, like Abbey Road. Then we swapped out Springsteen for Jimi Hendrix. We swapped out Prince for Michael Jackson, and this ended up being Freddie Mercury. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, that one. And it all ended up in like one line drawing. So this here is a Seneca quote that inspired me that day. See then that the spirit is well looked after. Our thoughts and our words proceed from it. We derive our demeanour and expression and the very way we walk from it. And then this is more of my worries, is a sacrifice. As you can see, got the arrows and stuff. A very powerful one, that one with the blood. So yeah, how much should I sacrifice was probably what I was going through. It's really just getting stuff out of my head and onto the page. Sea Captain, I really like this. The skull, the floating skull stuff. Definitely going to do something with these floating skulls. I've got a couple of them and I want to do some more. Really like the captain, the blue and the yellow rotten skull. Really cool stuff. So that's the Sea Captain. We're in April now, so there must have been quite a big gap between some of these, or I'm just coming back to them. This one here, I don't remember what this one was. I think it was one of my worries, but I think it's maybe like just a shadow self thing I was working on. This one here, another drawing of my beautiful partner as sort of a Disney character. The green and the red, all done in watercolor, beautiful. This here was a marble bust. I did some marble studies as well. This is of The Rock. Just took a reference image of Dwayne Johnson and did a marble bust. This one here is of Roman Reigns, as you can see. Really working on that cross-hatching there. Really love like putting the cross-hatching in instead of the shadows, instead of just like black. This is the Blue Falcon. Really like that. I think I was watching a Scooby-Doo movie that week with my daughter and I did it in a very Jack Kirby-esque style. I believe that's a Kirby reference I've used for the pose there. Again, more floating skulls. This is the Lost Boy. It's like Robin Hood or Peter Pan. Really like that one. I might colour that one up later. Self-portrait. There's a marble self-portrait of me. I took a photo of me that morning and did that cross-hatching. Really love that one. More worries. The Sergeant. The Sergeant's that critic in your head, that guy that's just like down the line. The conservative part in all of our heads that's just mean. It's a dick. Really. Baron Samedi. So we got some more floating heads. I don't know if you know Baron Samedi. He's like a witch doctor from voodoo culture. And yeah, that one was a lot of fun. More floating head skull stuff. Really like that one. Now here we go. Here's the council. So this is again some more personal work. This one I'm working on the council in my head, the council of people. I remember seeing this video where this lady said she changed the council in her head. She decided to choose who the council was going to be in her head, and this is my brain fog. This is one of the people I was trying to get rid of, my brain fog. I can't quite get rid of him because I do have ADHD, but I can certainly manage him. This is Temperance. Of course, I felt Temperance would be a woman. Makes so much sense to me. She's sitting on a very nice, temperate, balanced couch, and she's got the cups over top of her. This is my Rage. Now, my Rage does deserve a place on the council. He definitely speaks up when nobody will. However, he certainly doesn't need to be at the head of the council. He never has really, but he's still needed very much. This is my Compassion, probably one of the second in charge, if not first in charge. Really like that one. I used this image as well for one of my meditation videos. I took an old audio from years ago that I made when I was teaching this class, and there's a 15-minute video on mindfulness drawing, and this was the symbol. I thought it was perfect with the canary and everything like that. So let's keep going. So this is Batman. I finally saw the Batman at that time and was inspired and drew it that morning. And this is another spaceman drawing I've been meaning to do into a painting. So this is the final one. So it goes falling, floating, flying. And then this one will probably be a mural or something like that. But this is my Inner Power. Really like that one. That one wasn't dated and signed, but Inner Power, I'm really keen to do that one. We all have this inner power inside of us we were born with, and that's what I was tapping into there. Here's some more worry stuff, years of wounds. I suppose I was feeling a bit down that day. But yeah, we all have those wounds that we hide. The Prince used to be, he's sort of the younger me. The experience I've had, he's a little bit more temperate now, but the Prince is becoming the king, which is, well, he's the king now. So yeah, that's all done in watercolors. Both of these have been done in watercolors. Bit of a Spider-Man drawing, Spider-Man in his shorts. I suppose he was playing basketball before he went and met the character. I think my son asked me to draw Spider-Man that day. More of Finn and Raffi, very different style on that one. Very Cartoon Network-y, I suppose. Raffi in like the Kung Fu style. He's wearing like a Bruce Lee style suit there. That's my daughter, so again, trying to work on the river character. This ended up being a Mother's Day painting for my partner last year. I did this as a painting for her. This was her as the goddess of love, and she had all sorts going on around her, the rope and everything. It's beautiful. One of my favorite paintings I've ever done, actually. One of my favorite personal projects. Moon Knight. Finished the Moon Knight series when I watched this. Really love this one because of the detail we got in there and just the structure. You know, there's Mr. Moon and then there's Moon Knight. Again, still working on my daughter's drawing there. I'm trying to figure the character out, as you can see, a bit of pencil work there. Same with this one, coloured pencils. like to use all sorts of mediums in these books, and what's really cool about the Moleskines is they do really well with pencils and watercolors. They don't really run that bad. Like, it does bleed through, but it takes the watercolors a lot better than you'd think. So again, River with the paddle pop, still working on that. That was a bit more Disney style, and as you can see here, starting to work on those turnarounds. So really trying to figure out what's going on with her hair and the back of her head, and doing a turnaround of the character too. That's a lot of fun to do when you're designing characters, do turnarounds. Someone told me to do that years ago. Finny is just my little boy. He was in his towel, and I used that as a reference that day. And then we've got another symmetrical drawing. I believe this was done potentially for a movie cinema mural project, like a government-based, council-based one, or it was an idea for it that I never passed through. I think I had another one that went through. Some lady studies here, done in pencil again, and then some more of those turnarounds of my daughter's character. Really starting to figure it out here. I think she's starting to come along really well there. This is one of my favorites. This took me months to figure out because all the different elements came together slowly. I've now digitized this, and I'm going to be doing a very special project with this, with a big wall piece, but I can't say much about it just yet, so keep it quiet. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. This is what all those symmetrical ones were culminating to, was this alchemist character. Yeah, really strong stuff there. Really proud of that. Watercolors and pencil and everything going on there. This here, never finished that by the looks. At this time, my daughter and I were doing the Disney Sketchbook. Every Sunday morning we'd sit down and we'd watch Disney Sketchbook show. There's about 10 episodes of that, and a different artist would teaches you how to do drawing. Really a lot of fun. And as you can see now, I'm working on my son's character as well. His face is a bit heavy there. It's not quite translating the same here, but yeah, figuring out his hair. As you can see, he's getting older. Time goes on, his hair's getting longer. It's coiffed like that. It's actually pretty much at that stage, that length now. His hair grew very quickly. Strong genes, eh? Disney Sketchbook, got a genie. We got Mirabelle from Encanto. We got Captain Hook. Olaf, as you can see, this page has fallen out. Taped it back in. Really quite a lot of texture to this and feel to it. There's so much. This book lasted, as you can see, until July, so it was about 4 or 5 working on this book. And then finally finished at a Robin Luchador, so the 1st to the 9th. Wow, that lasted till September, far out. Because I think I did this and then went back through the book and did them. Really proud of this one of my favourites, and it's really informed a lot of the future ones that's later on. But watercolours, a bit of pencil, and a wonderful way to end the page. This is my little, so I had these alcohol markers from Aldi actually, here in Australia, and the colours on the thing weren't what it looked like on the page, so I made myself a swatch for when I was using the good little trick you can do. And that is it for this sketchbook, ladies and gentlemen. So as opposed to the previous sketchbook that you may have seen by now, this one took me a lot longer to be put together, but I am super proud of this one. This is seriously one of my favorite ones, and if there's ever a museum in my name or an exhibit, this will be one of those, because this was a book where I really found myself as an artist in my later years. I was really trying to discover a style, and it really came together in this one, and I'm glad it took me a little bit longer to put together this book, because it's so worth it. If you're interested as well, as a Moleskine XL Kahia with the black cover. I also like to get the ones that have like this brown cover as well. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. This was a little bit of a longer video than I usually do. However, I hope worth it. I hope you made it all the way to the end. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite drawing and what you would like to see next, if you'd like to see more sketchbooks. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Jordan T. Mystic. Never forget, ladies and gentlemen, stay weird, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.